This is the CineSnob Podcast.
Welcome to episode 188 of the CineSnob Podcast. I am Jerrod Kingery.
I'm Cody Villafana.
And I'm Jocelyn and Jerrod.
And I guess the elephant in the room is Cody at points unknown.
Cody Villafana. Is that how you say your name?
No, but it's close.
Villafana. I thought you were half Mexican.
Yeah, you're right. I am half Mexican.
Son of a bitch, Jocelyn.
My mom is going to be so embarrassed. Villafana.
Yes.
Cody, where are you?
I am in beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas.
Wow. Look at you. Like a boat just went by you and everything.
Yeah.
You look
my Zoom background's repeating now.
I got to put you on full screen because you got to just appreciate just exactly the visual we're getting here.
Mm-hmm. You look like you're in Miami.
Yeah, like first of all, like it looks, instead of saying UTSA, like it just looks like your hat says USA at this point. So you look like you're
trying
like
to fit in here.
Like you look like once they called the election for Biden, I'm on the run, brother. Like you look like
Island Time, Cody.
like you're in the middle of like tracking down a bail jumper.
Yeah, that's about right.
How long are you down there for, Cody?
I'm here until Tuesday.
Look at you. Are you
good for you?
I almost can't see my monitor because I wanted the sunglasses for the visual, but I can't see you guys because the sun's not out anymore.
Man,
you need transition lenses.
You haven't adapted to the Island Time eyewear style yet.
No.
Right.
Did you like tease your beard out too? Like what happened down there, or is it just the humidity?
It's the humidity, baby. It's the humidity.
There's like a pergola behind you and everything. Like shit, this thing is. You got like that is. We were saying this before the show that it's one of the nicest views of Corpus Christi I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like the non-smelly area. You
said something right before we got recording, Jocelyn. I can't remember what it was.
That he looks like a Muppet at the beach. I think it's the beard being froed out a little and the glasses.
Yeah.
Okay, now I put the brightness up on. I can see you guys. I can see.
Oh,
you guys
good.
and myself
Thank you.
Better now.
Yeah. I hope it's like something crazy happens behind you while we're recording.
like the pyramid of water skiers or something behind me.
Or just like a fish jumping, like just a big
that's
old.
been happening all day.
Like what do they call those, mullets? Is that what they call them? Are you familiar with the fish that I'm talking about? The
millet.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. Mullet.
A mullet is what Cody has on his head.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, that's why he was growing it out, because he knew where he was going this weekend.
Well, you had a little self-care Saturday in the hammock.
Oh, I did. Yeah, thank you for that's a great segue. Look at this fucking Corona. Jesus Christ Almighty. I was in my hammock, and I took a photo.
That's sort of similar. That's like right up there with.
It's true. I should do the show from the hammock next time. With the dogs bothering me and everything.
Yeah, I brought my whole podcast setup to this condo because I knew that I would be here, and I had obligations. Just
out of curiosity, are you by yourself there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're not like interrupting like the party time with other people.
No.
By being on a podcast. There's
Guys,
not like
I have to go podcast. I'll be back. I gotta go talk about Jungleland and Monsoon.
Well, can you give me one of those Coors, a Corona hard seltzers or whatever that? What is that thing?
This is a Corona Premier.
What is that? What's the difference?
It's like
it's in the hard seltzer can. That's why I ask.
It's like a low carb, low calorie.
Oh, dude.
Corona. So it's like in the Michelob can.
See, that's more of a hard seltzer can now to me. It looks like you're trying to like.
Well, Cody is such a beer snob. I'm really kind of underwhelmed by the beverage of choice
I have some craft beer in there too that I've already gone through. So.
Yeah, like what the hell? I was expecting something.
He doesn't want to get outed while he's outside.
Oh, right. That's
Corpus.
Right.
Yeah. He doesn't want people to know he has taste.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like behind him is the Trump 2020 no more bullshit flag,
Dude,
like that's hanging.
There's over on this house over here. There's one of those Trump Rambo flags hanging.
Trump
Have you seen
Rambo
those?
flags? No.
Oh man, hold on.
I like is it, the one where he's like photoshopped?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hold on.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna screen share.
Okay, let's see.
All right, hold on.
I just want to see this technology in action.
Oh, you didn't see it before? I thought we
Probably
did it
not.
with you on the show. Oh, you were here when we did the trailers for. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
What do you got? Oh, look at that.
Someone's flying one of those.
you
What
can
is this?
buy this flag?
Probably on someone's Etsy
Yeah.
shop.
Well, this
Oh yeah,
is
this is on Amazon. Wow, look at that.
On the Etsy
No man,
shop.
no woman, no commie can stump him.
I can't read
Oh.
it. It's
Yeah,
too,
it says
too pix-
stump, which is an odd choice for the.
Oh, so if it's on for
Adjective
sale
there.
on Amazon, then it's for sure like some like Chinese company
Oh yeah.
producing this. Excuse me, man, my nose is. I don't have the sea air to clear my nose, so.
Unprofessional.
So what are you doing down there? Like, are you doing anything sea related? You old salt. Are you just fucking living salt life right now?
Mostly salt life. I needed a few days away. I'll probably I'll probably go to the beach tomorrow because it's like a mile away, and then you can like fish off the. There's like a private dock back here, but I probably won't do that because
Do that, please.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to spend like I won't want to spend like $70 to get fishing equipment and bait
You
and
can
stuff
rent
just
it.
to do nothing with
You
it.
can rent it. Rent it.
Also, I
Get
don't
it.
want to
Get
touch
in
a
the
fish.
kayak. Oh yeah. Okay.
Dude, you better be careful. They are gonna figure you out.
They're gunning for me.
They're gonna be like, guys, can you take this gross fish off the hook for me?
I was just about to say I would pay money to see you attempting to fish.
I will say that I am jealous of that. The view looks great there. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's a great view, and then there's the bedroom's like on an upper level, and there's the same overlooking balcony. So I had my coffee out there this morning.
God,
It
man.
was lovely.
Is it is it a vacation area or did you like an Airbnb?
It's an Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's like the real neighbors are there.
I think a lot of them are rented out, but
Okay.
I think some people live here year round, probably.
What are those sunglasses, by the way? What are
These
they?
are some we got at South by Southwest. They're Spectrum. They used to change color.
God damn it!
Do you remember these? They turn purple.
I don't
in the
know. We
sunlight.
get a million of those fucking
Yeah.
tchotchkes, and I usually get rid of them all.
Oh no, I have a giant stack at home of like promotional sunglasses that I just kind of filter through.
I changed to prescription sunglasses about a year. I know. Look.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. I'm 42. So I got rid of the ones that say like fucking Bumble on the side or whatever horse shit promo thing.
I have some Credit Human ones, and I swear to God, I get the most compliments when I wear those. Like out of all the sunglasses I own, makes no sense.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Wow.
UTSA.
Within arm's
Oh, they're UTSA ones.
I don't like them because they're too reflective.
reach. Oh, those are pretty cool though.
I can't see shit with these. They're
We
so
can
dark.
see everything on your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can and like the pool boy being reflected back. Like,
Don't look at the tabs that are being reflected.
The pool boy.
the cabana boy. What Credit Human? That used to be SACU, correct?
hmm
I noticed that probably the last time I was in San Antonio. Like
It's
that
the
all that stuff
worst
had
name
changed.
for a company.
So they called my sister to do a like quality check on like how they're doing their business, and she was like, "I'd just like to say that your name is the dumbest name. I do not know what you were thinking when you changed it to Credit Human. It sounds like y'all are selling people." She like went off on this poor sales representative about how dumb that name is.
Weird. When
'Cause
did they
it
change
is.
it? It is very stupid. I don't get it. when did they change it?
A couple years ago.
Like 3 years ago or so.
I remember very vividly buying. I mean, they've been the SACU was around forever, and I remember buying those Spurs calendars from them.
Yep.
Do you remember that? Because they were like a Spurs sponsor, and they'd have the calendars, and it would have like, Tony Parker's family.
Yeah, my grandparents used to have that every year. They would get the, and then you would see like at one point, he's married now, but it was like Matt Bonner and his dog or something, like the ones that aren't married and stuff.
I remember they'd have a Coach Pop one, but it was always like a shitty zoomed in picture, like clearly like from someone else, like a gathering. And it was like
like he didn't agree to take.
Yeah. And like his eyes were red because it was all fucked up and taken on the sly. Like,
oh, that makes me love him even more. That's awesome.
And then like over the summer, like the first few months of it would be like the guys they would sign that they wouldn't. This is before like they had the Austin Spurs, and it was guys like that they would cut, or like, oh, this dude's he's in Europe for 3 years and never gonna play here. Speaking of Spurs, we should mention that Jocelyn, I don't know if you're a fan, but Cody and I have been very happy with this Fiesta jersey reveal.
Oh, hell yeah. And of course I'm a fan. I grew up in San Antonio. I mean, like, I always tell people, how can you not be a fan of the Spurs?
No, that's not what I meant. I know that.
The jerseys.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The Spurs stuff. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
I mean, the jersey color. Yeah,
if
settle down.
Yeah,
that's not salt. That's not fucking Salt Life.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's Salt Life for those people right there.
Yeah.
I need to relax and get on island time.
Yeah. We should just everyone.
The Fiesta colors are awesome. And I swear, like when I think back to like my 90s t-shirts that I probably gave to Goodwill or whatever, like I would give hundreds of dollars to get all of that back because they were so cool.
Did you have any of the Looney Tunes ones? Because I certainly did. Like with the coyote like wearing a jersey and he's dunking and
Looney Tunes.
Anyway,
I think the only thing I have left over are maybe like some championships, like the championship shirt and hat from '99. I think that's the only like old school stuff that I still have left.
I mean, I obviously, being me, still have some stuff, but
good for you.
I have I went to a game where David Robinson's MVP year. I have the MVP
exactly
50 sign.
The pink one with the like there's a picture of him in the 0, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I know exactly. I believe there's one in this closet that's blocked off right now that I can't get to.
Cody, you were like 2.
No, he would have been like 6.
When Robinson was around.
It was 95, 96.
That's right, 95. I was 6.
Because then Olajuwon ate his lunch and
then he was hurt the next year, and then they drafted Duncan.
No, he wasn't. Oh yeah, he was hurt the next year. You're right.
Yeah, because Duncan was drafted in '97.
Yeah, that was my senior year of high school that the Spurs stunk, and the leading scorer was Dominique Wilkins, like picked up off the garbage heap.
Yeah.
And I think Will Perdue was like the second leading scorer. Anyway, whatever. Getting
in the weeds, baby.
I know. Anything else before we move on to talk about movies? We've talked about. It actually looks way better right now, Cody. I know the sun's going down, but your shot looks way better. Like it looks way more relaxed.
I have some lights out on this porch here, and they finally kind of kicked in.
Oh, look at that!
And I don't know how much daylight I have left, but we'll see.
We'll hopefully hopefully you get to your luau in time.
Yeah, I was about to say like the flambeau parade will start.
I can smell it from here.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to reviews.
Here are this week's reviews.
First up, we have Jungleland.
We're gonna be good, Lion. I mean, I can see it. I can see our future when I close my eyes. We got it all laid out in front of us. We're not gonna lose.
Hey, something wonderful's happening tonight, ladies. I can feel it.
Come on, give me a little roar.
Let me hear you roar.
Oh man, I was trying to focus.
You little roar lion.
You owe me money. You don't have. I'm offering you an opportunity. Battle Royale for 100K. Take it to this address by this time next week, and Lion stays on the garden.
You don't seem like a boxer to me.
What do you mean?
You haven't got that thing?
What thing? This thing? I don't walk around going like this to people.
Now, this is obviously a boxing movie, and looks like every other boxing movie I've ever seen. But anyway, Cody, tell us about Jungleland and what you thought of it.
Yeah, so you say it's a boxing movie, though, I think boxing is almost like a C storyline when everything is said and done. And kind of takes a back seat. But basically, it is about a young boxer whose brother is kind of his trainer and manager. But it's like bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's fucking dumb.
It's the movie's very like machismo type stuff, which kind of gets it as it acts as a detriment, I think, to the film overall. But it's like a bare knuckle boxing thing, and ultimately, what ends up happening is they get in some gambling trouble as a result of the brother, and they're forced to try to repay debts by going across the country. And part of going across the country involves bringing this girl who's like a runaway across the country, and drama ensues, as I would say.
As we,
I say it all
as
the
we
time.
say out here on the water, man. I mean, it's like a fucking,
Salt
it's like a
life.
fucking marlin just got away from you, man.
So I when I was messaging, I think Jocelyn, I said this to you, but this movie is what I would consider to be narrative gumbo, in that
Yes, you did.
in that it's just a bunch of like stereotypical plots stacked onto one another, and you put it in a pot with some sausage and okra, and you've got
Shut the fuck up. God
Some
damn you. Dude, oh my god.
Okay.
You put it you just pour it out onto a paper towel it's like the boiling pot,
Like a
down
shrimp
down there on the shore,
When you're
there's this
having
goddamn
a beach party and everyone's cooking on the beach.
For those listening, you might want to watch the video for this. Or else
Oh
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Sorry if we're Cody's at the fucking there's like a shipping channel behind him, complete with a goddamn pergola, like with literal like grass on it, like it's like he's
and I'm wearing sunglasses and a backwards hat.
I just want a seagull to like interrupt your shot to come
just
down and like
Pecking at my head.
peck me on the head.
just to be like one of those asshole seagulls that just doesn't give a shit. All right, Cody,
Oh,
go ahead.
boy.
Whoop, there you go.
Okay, so where was I? Oh yes, gumbo.
Your gumbo recipe.
I think it actually starts off decently, and I think it establishes this brother relationship and something. It feels like the boxing movie trope is definitely like that trainer who's either trying to keep things together or the thing that's bringing the athlete down or something like that. And this is definitely the bringing him down variety. And I think it's the plot is just kind of a house of cards where you pull out the card of like the second you see like the most trustworthy villain of all time, who ends up giving them like a car and money and stuff to go across the country, you start going, wait, what's going on here? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. And then the further it goes, it's like they're on this road trip, but like they barely get anywhere before they start getting into trouble. And then you have like really dumb stuff that happens, like, you know, at one point their car breaks down and they have to box their way, and like like there's a plot line where he has to fight two guys at once in order to get his car repaired, and you're like, this is stupid. And then there's another plot line that happens in a restaurant or bar bathroom where I was like, oh, I actually said, oh, fuck you out loud when that happened, where there's a reveal of what's happening with the girl in that bathroom, where I'm like, this is just, you know, there's three credited screenwriters on the film, and you can tell that it's overwritten with every single trope imaginable. And also, you know, it's just, like I said, it's really machismo, but also it's like these two lunkhead idiot guys who, like, you can't root for. Like, they're, like the point that you want to root for them that's written in is like, oh, yeah, I want a dry cleaning business, but I ain't too smart. And you're like, oh, just stop. So I found this movie to be generic as hell, and just sort of getting worse and worse with every dramatic thing that comes along.
Jocelyn, what about you?
I didn't hate it quite as much as Cody did. I think it did start off very strong, and I was like texting him like, hey, this isn't so bad, you know, but I think, yes, there were some very big issues that started to make themselves evident very quickly. And I had mentioned I love boxing movies, and I would agree with Cody. This is not a boxing movie. Like, it's very loosely centers around a boxing idea, but really there's only like two major fights.
Sorry,
like that
God
bit
damn
that.
it.
What is he lounging?
No, just look at it. Yeah.
You gotta lounge while I speak.
I'm surprised his feet aren't up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're out of frame. You can't see them.
He's wearing loafers or something, like boat shoes. No socks.
But for me, the drama element was also, like Cody, like it was just so ridiculous. The reveal was
narrative
ridiculous.
gumbo.
Yes, the narrative gumbo. But you also said, what did you say? Drama ensues. That's what I was speaking about how
Yo, man, drama ensues. Oh shit, I don't know what happens.
Like
when the drama began ensuing, it lost me. Like there's one scene where they go back to the girl's home that they've been carrying across country. They happen to be like within driving distance of her home, so they go there for dinner. And it was so ridiculous. Like, that was when I was like, okay, this movie doesn't know what the hell it's doing. Like, can we see some boxing, please? And that's
like,
sad.
Charlie Hunnam's shirt has stayed on this entire time.
I will say, I thought the performances were very good. I thought he did an excellent job as that, like, neurotic trainer, older brother, like, trying to keep it together. I thought he did a good job. And the girl, I think she also was, you know, a strong actor. The boxer brother, not as much. But I think I will say, out of all of it, the performances weren't the one thing that bothered me about this movie. But I would say it's like a boxing movie, as if like the Titanic was about sailing. Like, it's just not about that. And then it's ridiculous at the end, and then it's kind of just over. But that's not to say I didn't enjoy it, which makes it sound like I didn't enjoy it. But I actually did. I would have changed a lot of it, and I thought it was a different movie going into it. But that's not to say that I hated it.
You know, I mean, look, it is a boxing movie. I mean, it's not necessarily like about the arc of this boxing thing, but that's the hook of it, is that this guy is a boxer. And I think that's the kind of reasoning for all the characterizations, is that this guy is, you know, what do they call him? Lion, is kind of dumb, and it's the only thing he can do. And that his brother, whatever Charlie Hunnam's character's name is, you know,
Stanley Kowalski.
Is it?
Yeah, because of
isn't
course
that
from On the Waterfront or whatever. It's like very similar. It's like Stanley, or like from
You
Cat in
mean
the
On
Hot
the
Streetcar
Named Desire.
Yeah,
Thank
Streetcar. I didn't
Sorry.
realize his name was on the. That's
It's
not
like
on the Waterfront.
Stanley
Streetcar named.
Kowalski or something like super similar. But I think it's a nod to Marlon Brando, and you know.
No, it figures. And I mean, look, the movie is it's the same thing you've seen 10,000 times. I think. And it hits every dramatic beat that's well trod. The thing that goes wrong. Like there's this very stupid scene, like Cody said, with after the car gets wrecked and they have to fight. They end up fighting the mechanics.
This guy paddling behind me.
Look at that. I dare you to I yell at him and see if he responds to you, please. Please, no, be like, what's Salt Laugh, brother, or Trump 2020.
You're gonna get Cody arrested.
Stop the steal.
Stanley Kaminsky was his name.
Of course they're Polish. Of course they're Polish. Like it doesn't. Yeah.
Charlie Hunnam's bad American accent makes another appearance.
Dude, it's look. It's the same thing you've seen 10,000 times. I don't think there's anything original in this. There's a lot of kind of overly dramatic things. Once you find out the girl's story, and like the climax of that is really disturbing and gross, and then ends with like a a shocking outburst of violence. Look, and then the whole setup of the gangster giving them a car to drive across country, and
it's so stupid.
To bare knuckle box, like how much money is there? Like what is this?
$100,000, Jerrod.
Yeah, but it's like it's bare knuckle boxing. It's so. I mean, it's just macho bullshit.
Yeah.
The dressing up this story about two brothers, and I was not on board.
And I think it wants to be a story about two brothers, but the problem is that I don't think either of them are. It's strange to have a movie where like neither of these characters are particularly like easy to root for, because I think Hunnam's character is a little bit like you can see how he's like dragging his brother into dumb shit, but Jack O'Connell is kind of a blank slate as a character. And I wish that he had something defining to him. Jerrod, you had pointed out that there's one part when he talks about his dream and he pulls out like a child's collage
of running a dry cleaning business. Yeah.
It's very like
it was a dream
of
board.
Mice and Men.
Was that a dream
board?
Is that whatever
That's what
it was?
I said it was a vision board.
It was very
okay, yeah.
But it was like pasted together. Like it was like
a serial killer hostage note.
Yeah. So like, is this guy like just, is he like, is he childish?
I thought the older brother was likable though, in the like optimism that he was, especially at the beginning. Like
I think he was taking advantage of his brother. I don't think he was likable at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And then you said, the Jack O'Connor character is just sort of a blank slate, and the interesting one is the girl, but she ends up with the same kind of gross storyline that you might have expected from any female character in that position. Anyway, grades, Cody.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, the biggest tell about this movie is that there are 3 screenwriters, and I think that when you see that, you see it on the screen with like every idea that's there stuck to the wall. So, like my background, I'm going to give it a C.
Oh God, Jocelyn.
Oh, that I get it. The pun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about what I wanted to say. I didn't hate it quite as much as both of you. I think Charlie Hunnam did a great job, and
We get it.
You know what, Jerrod? It's not because of him. I don't even find him attractive.
He's not even the hottest guy that Jocelyn's going to talk about
Exactly.
tonight.
We'll talk about who I will give an A to for appearances, but it wasn't him. And I don't know. I agree that
Mel Gibson.
Definitely the Fatman. The wheels fell off, definitely. But I would still say that it was worth a watch. So I'm giving it a B-.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C+. I just don't think it's you got to run, brother. What's happening over there?
I heard a horn of some kind.
Shit hitting the fan.
No, I am gonna get a refill when you guys blabber about whatever.
Okay. Well, we're gonna leave your shot up because it's very nice looking behind you. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C. Also, what did I say? C.
You said C+.
C+. I'm sorry. C+. Yes. C+. It's not terribly made. We should add the director is Max Winkler, who is Henry Winkler's son. I met Henry Winkler last year, and he is the nicest man.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, I went up to shake it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, what else has Max Winkler made?
I looked that up. I totally forgot, but
Ceremony is the only other movie
Yes.
that he's made.
It was a movie called Ceremony.
I was telling Cody, I was like, I'm surprised he didn't get his dad to play the creepy old man part.
Oh,
too
that was an
likable.
odd. Yeah,
No, that would have been really distracting. Like, what? Like Henry Winkler? Like, he's very nice. Like,
The nicest man in Hollywood,
yeah,
playing a fucking creep.
yeah. Anyway,
that was an
alright.
odd villain at the end, too. Sorry, now that I brought it up.
All right, let's go and move on to our next movie, Fatman.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've lost my influence. Maybe it's time I retired the coat.
You still have it.
Some kids with a deer rifle put 2 holes in the sleigh, one in me. All I have is a loathing for a world that's forgotten.
The United States military would like to procure your services.
This is a one-time deal, gentlemen. How are you, Mike? Nicole and the kids are well, I hope.
Where are you?
You just lost a big son!
What's the job?
I'd like you to kill Santa Claus.
I'm looking for the fat man. You can't be serious.
This is what people actually think of me. Christmas is a farce. I am a joke.
What's the purpose of your visit?
Hunting. I'm gonna kill some things.
There is a rising number of our youth making poor decisions.
What the big man's head?
Severed heads rot, they mold.
They don't want his beard.
I'm not shaving off a dead man's beard.
This is, if you couldn't tell, kind of a dark story about, son of a bitch, about Santa Claus.
Came back just in time.
What a weird, yeah. Anyway,
It's not. Is it darker than Krampus?
I didn't see Krampus, but
Oh.
anyway, good. Thanks for chiming in there, Cody. So,
Tuning out now.
So you didn't watch it, Cody?
Cody
huh?
didn't watch Fat Man. Jocelyn, tell us about Fat Man and what you thought of it.
Oh, great. Wow. What a pleasure to talk about this wonderful movie. So I had a lot of people send me the trailer and say like, wow, this movie looks great. And I thought it looked like shit from the very beginning. And then when I watched the movie, I confirmed that I think it's a bunch of shit. But if I'm going to talk about it. So basically,
that is the gist of the show. Yes.
yeah, sorry. You're going to force me to tell you about this shit movie. So yes, as you saw, Mel Gibson is Santa Claus, and he's kind of like a bad Santa. He's kind of grumpy, and he's sort of lost the meaning of Christmas, if you will. He's just kind of doing everything half-ass, and the North Pole, or where they are in Alaska, where the toy shop is in Alaska, their toy shop is going under. Like they're facing declines in revenue from the U.S. government. Is one of the plot elements of this movie. And then, as you saw, there's also this sort of other storyline of this little boy who's very wealthy, and his parents, are absent, and he's kind of left to his own devices. Well, he gets a lump of coal, and then decides that he wants Fat Man killed, aka Santa Claus. So then he sends his like henchman, this like hitman person, on a path to kill Santa Claus.
This sounds horrendous.
Let me tell you, Cody, that doesn't happen until like halfway through the movie. Like it would have made sense if that had happened at the beginning of the movie. It would have made more sense. I hate to give this movie any credit. So then basically this hitman goes, finds by Cody.
Oh shit, the storm hit.
A wave came and got Cody.
Go.
Yelling.
Okay, I'm gonna put you full score.
Okay. And then I threw a pen. So, where did I leave off? So this hitman tracks down Santa Claus, aka Mel Gibson, aka Fat Man, and like
Any other nicknames?
Yeah, this bloodbath happens. Like literally, it's so violent. Like the whole movie is really like not strangely violent, but just like depressingly violent. I really didn't enjoy all of the violence. And I think maybe there's an audience for that. Like, you know, people wanting to see this like kind of badass, like, you know, hitman tracking down Santa and killing everyone in his way. But for me, I was like, this is horrible. This makes me really upset. and not only that, but this is like supposed to be kind of a Christmas movie, and you know, Bad Santa did it well.
You might be expecting a little too much from this movie when
no,
you think
no,
it's
no. I know
like,
what
but
you
it's
mean.
a Christmas
Like
movie.
not that it's a Christmas
Where's
movie,
the
but
canes?
I just mean that, like, you know, Bad Santa at least had like some elements of Christmas, and this did not at all. Like, there's just not, like, if you're expecting Santa to do anything Santa related, then like do not.
Well, he does
watch
a little.
This movie.
So okay, what, Cody? What? What's your joke? You're frozen.
No, I'm frozen.
Yeah. It just looks like his last known photograph. Anyway, you know, this is one of those movies that has an interesting premise, I think, and the premise that Santa is real is one of those things that I think is kind of a trope at this point.
What do you mean, Jerrod?
A
premise.
Sorry,
that
he is real.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Thank you.
The idea that that's so like the idea that there's like a like real world elements behind Santa's operation. Like in this film, like he's contracted by the U.S. government to provide like to stimulate the economy, and you're good, Cody. I can see you. So
I'm testing myself out.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, I'm a diva today.
How many fucking beers have you had? How many of those pussy ass beers have you had?
Oh, I've switched now. I'm not on beer anymore.
105, and he's still sober.
He's a Toucan Sam, I think. Anyway. Oh God, Lowell. Oh, you did it. What is that?
It's a Shiner straight shooter.
I know, man. The night has fallen.
It's gonna get crazy from here on out, baby.
I want to see one of those palm trees with Christmas lights in it, like that Corona commercial. That would be awesome.
Cody's drinking panty remover right now. Anyway, goddamn.
Okay.
Anyway, what am I trying to say? Oh, so this movie has this premise. The premise is there that Santa is, you know, there's this real world implications behind it. Like he has to pay his bills and he has a contract from the U.S. government, and they're asking him to now produce weapons. Fine. I'm on board for that. I'm on board also for the Walton Goggins character, who is the hitman that Jocelyn talked about, being this kind of delusioned child who got ripped off by Santa as a kid and like spends his time like buying up authentic Santa gifts because apparently that's a thing. Like they're all marked with a Santa, like produced at Santa's workshop.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And it's in an attempt to find him, I think also. Sure.
So the those two elements, I think together would have made for a better movie. The fucking kid stuff, it was over the top and ridiculous, and it bugged me from the fucking moment I saw it. Because it starts with that kid, and he's like, you know, he's like ordering like his servants around at the house, with like an intercom, and his like he's stealing money from his grandma, and that plot line goes nowhere, and it's only to facilitate Walton Goggins going on the hunt for Santa, and it's just one of those. It doesn't add anything to it, and it adds this layer of ridiculous murkiness to the plot that I think really derails what could have been something at least interestingly like brutal and mean, you know? Like it's not, you know, it's a Christmas movie in that it has Santa, but you know, it's definitely
kind of like a Christmas movie as in like Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Well,
you know?
Sure. I mean, it's like a, you know, like a bleaker retelling of the Santa myth. And, you know, it does get very bloody, and it's very interesting to a point, you know, with the idea that he's kind of immortal in a way, Like it drops hints along the way, like he gets shot by kids like just goofing around on Christmas. Anyway, there's
actually liked the marriage between Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus. Strangely enough, that was like one of the elements I did like.
What is her name? Marianne Jean Baptiste.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a good movie. There's a better movie in here than what we got, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think so
And
too.
the premise is decent enough that I think better handled it could have been enjoyable. But right now it's a fucking mess. Like there's like at least one too many plot lines.
Absolutely.
And I just wasn't on board for it. So anyway, grades, Jocelyn.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you. But I'm not going to discredit the little kid storyline because I think that could have been an interesting movie too if it had been just that, kind of like against Santa, him against Santa. But then, like you said, with the hitman also kind of being a disgruntled former, bad kid kind of a thing, it just was so muddy. The whole thing was muddy and violent, and I just did not enjoy it. I give it a C-.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it the same thing too. I just think it's a disappointment. There could have been something better with this, and there just wasn't. Like it's not. It's like they came up with the premise and just threw everything they had at it, and it didn't come together in anything. That said, I did like Mel Gibson in it. It's too bad he's a terrible person.
Jerrod, I had that exact same realization in this movie. I was like, holy crap, Mel Gibson is such a good actor.
I know. And
why does he have to suck so much in real life?
And I think Cody and I talked about it years ago with
Get the Gringo?
No, Expendables, the third one.
I didn't see that.
Oh, maybe it was me and Kiko. But anyway,
he's great in Get the Gringo.
No, yeah, he popped up in Expendables 3 or whatever. And he's so good. Like he's
crazy.
so magnetic and good, but he's like still have that terrible person hanging in the back of your mind. And he for whatever reason has not been completely ostracized. And I think he kind of does whatever roles he wants now. But do you remember, like, he was supposed to be in The Hangover 2, and like Zach Galifianakis was on like a minor strike to get him out.
Good
meanwhile,
for Zach.
Meanwhile, this is also a guy that like a movie that also starred convicted rapist Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
like it doesn't. It's just weird. It's weird. Hollywood's weird, but
that's why they call it Holly Weird, my man.
Oh, look at you.
Chiming in with the voice of reason.
Yeah, you're speaking the truth, brother. Yeah, C- for me. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our last movie, Monsoon.
It's been a long time. 30 years.
If I see you in the street, I cannot recognize you. Where are you staying?
Taodian, District 2.
You should visit your old home.
Yeah, I'm going to.
You look like your picture. Thank God.
Went to where we used to live. I felt like a tourist. I hardly recognize this country anymore. I remember growing up in London. Every Vietnamese person that I met lost a family member here.
Yeah, it took a great deal out of us, too. Generation forgotten, country divided.
I had no idea that we were leaving. I went to sleep one night, and when I woke up, I was on a boat, drifted for days. My mother passed out a year ago now.
Did your parents ever come back to Vietnam?
Never.
Must have been very painful for them not to come back.
All right, this is a film about a oh god, I guess a Vietnamese expatriate, Henry Golding, going back to ostensibly scatter his mother's ashes. Is it?
Yeah, both of his parents.
Both his parents in Vietnam, after having fled the country when he was a child. Cody, tell us about Monsoon and what you thought of it.
Well, I think you kind of described the most of what happens here, because it's kind of like a it's not very plot heavy. It is very much a sort of vibe based kind of film. And so Henry Golding, of course, like you said, is there to scatter the ashes of his parents who moved from Vietnam when he was 6 years old and went to England. And so he's visiting old family members and then finding like old spots where he grew up and his parents grew up to find the right place to scatter the ashes. And, I think that it's a very simple film. It's gorgeously shot. I mean, I don't know how both of you felt, but that first scene, it's like an aerial shot of like all of the scooters and stuff going
like
around.
a drone shot of it's
mesmerizing. Watching kind of the traffic in where are they? They're in
Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon.
Saigon, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ho Chi Minh City is what it's really called, but Saigon.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a gorgeously shot, very meditative movie, and it wrestles with some themes of seeing the impact that the Vietnam War had on generations beyond those who fought in the war or had to flee as a result of the war, but also some really great themes about kind of being a stranger and a tourist in your own country, or the country that you were born. I think Henry Golding is really great in the film, and there's a relationship plot here at the center of the movie between him and another guy that he meets, and I found it to be like a really authentic and naturalistic relationship that kind of is propelled forward. Like at first you think that it might be like a casual thing, and then you start seeing that the two of them are really connecting on a level. He meets an American guy there, it's a very unassuming movie, but I think quite magnetic. I found myself, even though there's not a ton going on, being really fascinated by what I was watching, and I think the conversations are not, I think that there's some people who may think that it might be a little bit preachy about war or the result. Like there's a conversation that happens between him and that guy about, from the American point of view, he says something like, it's not a war that we can be proud of.
Well, I mean that the character that you're talking about, the guy he meets in American, talks about like, oh, it affected us too. We had a generation lost and forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
That he later has to apologize for saying that because it's clearly not the same experience. But
yeah, and I think that it's surprisingly raw for the fact that it's dealing with again a war with a generation removed and the impact it had on the children. So I was pretty captivated by it. I think that it was really solid, and I found myself, even though again it was understated and subdued, a really interesting film.
Jocelyn, what about you? Is this the guy? Are we talking about Henry Golding? Was the guy?
Yes.
Okay.
What a hottie! Sorry. Okay, I had to get that out of the way.
He is very.
He's so handsome,
and he's got that like subtle British, accent.
Yeah, I mean, that's like distracting.
Did either of you see A Simple Plan?
Yeah,
or is that what it's called?
The one with Blake Lively and
I did not. No, I did not.
Yeah.
It's Jerrod. We've talked about this, but it's a Paul Feig movie. I think you'd really like it. It's the one, really good.
I don't know how that one slipped by me, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's really fun. It's like candy. It's like just really fun and enjoyable.
Yeah,
he's in that too. Yeah, he plays the husband, I think, for Blake Lively, right, Cody? Mm-hmm. So I don't disagree with Cody, but I will say that this movie is like achingly sincere, and sometimes for me that made it seem super awkward, because I think in the hands of a good actor, that the dialogue and how sincere it is can be done really well. And Henry Golding did an excellent job. I think he kind of carries the movie, but I think for some of the other characters, delivering that dialogue kind of felt a little not insincere, but felt just awkward and stilted, I guess I would say. It's sort of similar to Before Sunrise. I think Linklater did Before Sunrise with Ethan Hawke.
Yeah,
and
Julie Delpy. Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of them.
What did you say, Cody?
Oh, is that
it's
what's
a
the
simple
Blake Lively?
favor?
Oh, A Simple Favor.
A Simple Plan?
A Simple Plan is the Billy Bob Thornton.
Coen Brothers movie.
You're right.
Simple Plan.
Okay, A Simple Favor, which is very similar in title, but whatever. Okay, so it's very similar to these Before Sunrise and Before Sunset movies, where they just kind of are, having these conversations and walking around the city and kind of like taking in all the culture. And the same problem I have with those movies, I had with this one, where it just felt a little sanctimonious. It felt a little inauthentic. I think people just don't have these types of conversations, you know, and if they do, it doesn't happen like all the time. I feel like they were just like constantly talking about like, oh, the meaning of this and that. And like I said, not to say that I didn't like it. It just, that to me felt a little not authentic. But when it was in the hands of a good actor, I thought it did it really well. I really liked that character who he met up with, the art gallery girl. I thought she was excellent, and she really kind of delivered these moments in a very genuine way. The relationship here for me, it felt a little like I don't know, it felt like it didn't make sense to me. Like they felt a little, I don't know, like they like a little forced, I guess. And maybe that was just because of the acting or the dialogue, but it just kind of came off that way to me.
Well, I mean, there is an arc, I think, from the beginning of the film to the end of the film to show just sort of a microcosm of Vietnam as it has changed. Because if you notice, the hotel clerk has a French accent, you know, from the colonial days of you know, French occupation, Jocelyn. Your family is complicit.
One of our favorite restaurants here in San Antonio is owned by a Vietnamese gentleman who he does French cuisine. So I think a lot of times, though, it's kind of not, I mean, not to discredit all the bad things that happen, but it is kind of interesting to see how the cultures have sort of meshed.
Sure. And I don't want to mean to say that like something bad is still going on. I was joking, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, the idea that there's this, you know, this hotel clerk has a French accent in Vietnam. And then you meet along the way these people that were directly affected by the Vietnam War, a generation removed, being like, I guess, a friend of his that's almost like a cousin that grew up with him, and that they knew his mother well and borrowed money from her. And then you get to the art gallery owner, which he mistakes for an American because her English is perfect. Mm-hmm. And you see that like as this future, you know, this idea that the you know, the Vietnam War changed everything in Vietnam, and that it's not you know, it's certainly not what it was 50 years ago when the war started, and it's certainly not the same as it was when it was a French colony. And that's interesting to me, and that he's sort of been removed from this in the UK, you know, kind of looking at it from the outside in. That said, you know, it's really just meditative. There's not really much that happens. It just sort of is.
Yeah, they don't even scatter the ashes.
Yeah, and I don't think it's bad for that, because it's an interesting look. I mean, you know, it's you know, Da 5 Bloods. It kind of reminded me of the beginning of Da 5 Bloods, when you kind of realize that Vietnam is this modern country now. You know, it's not what you saw in these, you know, period movies where it was a jungle and, you know, there was constant war. You know, it's a modern Asian country, obviously, and you know, not without its issues, because there's a point where Henry Golding's character talks to the guy that he meets, that he's building the relationship with, that he's there to like supervise his clothing line production, and he chastises him for like exploiting cheap labor. Yeah, and he phrases it as like, you know, helping an emerging workforce. Anyway, there's just a bunch of stuff like that that's kind of this cultural stuff peppered through this story that's really not about anything, I don't think, at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, I think the important thing, and I think why the meditative stuff works for me in particular, is because you've seen 1,000 Vietnam War movies that are all the same. And this has to do with, like, the fallout in a completely different, like, in a way that I've personally never seen in a movie, which is the fallout that it has on, like, the people who were children and then had to, their parents move them away as a result of that. And then seeing like the post-war Vietnam in a different light as well, and how it's becoming like a burgeoning place. So like every new revelation to me about this thing, because you can see it to Henry Golding's credit, he's he seems to be very torn about his experience that he's having, and I think he does a lot of very silent acting in this, where you can see that he's kind of like there's like an overwhelming sense of guilt I think that he carries throughout a lot of the movie, even for like coming back to Vietnam at all.
Right.
And I think it's powerful.
I think for me, on that point, one of the most telling and like one of the lines that I literally will never forget about from this movie was when, I don't even remember who said it, but the character told him, you're bringing your parents back to this country that they fought so hard to leave.
Right.
And I got chills.
Yeah.
Who said that? I can't remember.
It was the cousin guy.
It was the cousin, yeah. And it was like this realization of like, yeah, wow, like I never even thought of it that way.
One of the things it does I'm kind of confused by is just how old these people are supposed to be. And it's a problem I had with the Five Bloods also. If had Henry Golding left, if they left Vietnam, the idea was that his father was working with the South and would have been labeled a collaborator. That would make him 50 years old, and this other character 50 years old. And I don't know that it plays like that. They play like a generation born after, because and that's just kind of, the Vietnam War ended in the mid 70s, with American occupation, or not occupation, but American involvement.
Well, but he was 6. He said
but that would put
left.
It right. So like if that ended, I don't know. I feel like it muddies the waters a little bit there to tell a story, and that's fine. And I think the Five Bloods did the same thing. Where all the like Delroy Lindo and everyone else would have been like 75 years old had they really been Vietnam vets. But anyway, I think it's good. It's just don't expect much to really happen. Mm-hmm. Anyway, what are your grades, Cody?
Yeah, look, you're right. There's not a lot that happens, and it is very subdued. It's very quiet. It's very meditative. That being said, I think that Henry Gold is really solid in it, and I think that if you're a fan, like Jocelyn said, of the Linklater movies, the Before trilogy, a lot of walking and talking around beautiful, picturesque areas, I think you'll find a lot here. And the thing that I did disagree with Jocelyn on a little bit is that I found it very sincere, and I think that the relationship between Henry Golding and that other actor is very real and very sincere, and so I give it a B.
No, I said it was achingly sincere. I think it wasn't genuine, though. I don't.
What's the difference? That doesn't make sense.
I know that doesn't make sense.
I think
authentic, maybe.
Yeah, you're trying to it was delivered sincerely, or it was written sincerely, but it wasn't delivered sincerely.
Exactly, it was inauthentically sincere.
Yeah. Well, okay, then I think that it was very authentic.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think Henry Golding here is just like, he did amazing, and I loved his performance in it. And everything else that we've already mentioned about it, I'm struggling between a B and a B minus, but I think I'm going to land on a B just because of his performance.
Yeah, I think a B is pretty good. I mean, there is some beautiful stuff in here, and it's just kind of the mundanity of some of it too. Like you mentioned, Cody, that first drone shot of the traffic, and just the sheer number of like people on motorcycles and
like
scooters
almost crashing into each other.
Yeah, I mean that's a very a big hallmark of a lot of Asian countries.
Well, and that lotus flower scene was so pretty too.
Oh yeah, when they pull out at the aerial overhead shot, and it's just full of lotus flowers. Yeah, I mean it's a different point of view on Vietnam than what you're used to seeing. I don't think it's preachy in any way, personally. So one of you said that, didn't you?
I did. I thought it was really preachy.
I mean, there's some things that are like hard conversations, and I think that some of them are better than others. But for the most part, I think its sincerity is well played. So I give it a B also. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this week. Next week, Cody, do you have anything, man, or are you just living?
Bro,
just keep living,
hanging out, and like if a movie comes into my eyes, I'll watch it, I guess. So next week there's a Hulu movie with Sarah Paulson from the directors of Searching. Do you remember Searching? The John Cho on the screen movie. It's really good from last year.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
It's really
I know
good.
what you're talking about, but no, yeah.
Yeah, so this movie's called Run. It's a Sarah Paulson movie. We also have there's another movie that I can't remember the name of. I don't have my sheet here.
You didn't bring your notes to the beach, man?
I didn't.
Son of a bitch.
There's also the Star Wars holiday special that we can cover. We're embargoed, or else we would have talked about it this week. But we're
Did you watch it already?
Not yet.
Oh, I did.
Did you? Is it good?
I can't fucking talk about it, goddammit. Anyway. What
Blink
else?
twice if it's good.
Don't blink, Jerrod. You're going to get arrested.
I'm going to turn you in after
Throw in the
this.
Star Wars jail. So what else is there besides Run?
There's another movie that's a Magnolia movie that I can't... I could probably... Well, who cares? I mean...
Just wait. We'll just... Whatever. This is just killing time.
We'll have stuff. Whatever.
Yeah. If you want to reach us, you can email us at podcast@cinesnob.net. You can find us on Twitter @cinesnob. Facebook is something like cinesnob.net. I've been saying it wrong for a while. I don't know when it changed.
It's not CineSnob Critic? Oh, that's Kiko's personal thing, right?
No, his is Cinesnob. So it's CineSnob.net.
Oh.
So I don't know who changed that, but whatever.
I might have, because CineSnob Critic is dumb.
Whatever. It's anyway, facebook.com/cinesnobnet. That's not really much better, but whatever. What else did I say? You can listen to our other shows, ReMCU and Quarant Stream, which I think there's still a new episode in the can that somebody hasn't uploaded yet.
Maybe.
You can listen to Cody on the Ramble, and then on the fishing report.
Yeah. You guys probably can't see. There's a pool behind me.
I can see there's like a green glow in the water. Is that the pool?
The green glow is like a fishing thing, but like if I...
Oh, look at that. God, you are... Okay, so it's
like
not so much...
This
isn't...
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ.
There's no internet here. He has everything but internet.
He just screwed his own camera up.
Your shot just got better and better.
That betrays the salt life a little bit, that there's such a nice pool right there. Like you really should have been able to lift that up and see like a bunch of dudes just down there fishing, and they'd be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Just like cutting into fish and filleting them.
Yeah, it's called cleaning a fish.
That was happening this morning.
Oh, okay. Jocelyn, what about you? What's going on with you? How's the baby?
Gosh.
How's the baby?
Oh, isn't that funny? It's good. He's quiet. Yeah, I'm getting more sleep, so that's excellent.
He's not barking during the show.
Yeah.
How do your dogs like the baby?
That's so funny. One is scared of the baby, and then my dog, who is like my firstborn, is super protective, and he sleeps underneath wherever he is.
Wait a minute. What do you mean your dog?
The
dog you brought to the relationship.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I've had him for 9 years. He's like my dog, you know. He's
who's the other dog is a wuss.
The other one is a little rescue that I found on the south side, who's just adorable. But yeah, he's kind of like the stepchild, the red-headed stepchild.
Aww.
But he's cute too, and we've only had him for like a year or two, so he's new.
So he's like, "What the fuck? They just added a goddamn baby."
Well, I took my Christmas cards. I put them on Instagram. I showed you them, and the photogenic dog, and then the stepchild is a Chihuahua. So he looks like he's having like an existential crisis.
Why is he a stepchild? Why is he not just a child?
Well, I think because he was kind of. The other one was a rescue too, but we found him. We didn't think we were going to keep him. And then his poor family denied knowing him. Makes me so sad.
What?
God.
Take him on Maury?
We did a paternity test.
Actually, that happened to my sister. They found a dog in their neighborhood. This dog is like cross-eyed and weird. This dog's hilarious. But they found it. They found the owners, and they were like, "Oh, you can keep it."
That's kind of what happened.
Holy
Like
shit.
there was a little girl and a mom, and I was like, "Is this your dog?" And the little girl goes, "Yes." And the mom said, "No." And then they left, and I was like, "Okay, I think that was their
That dog.
and they
That
don't
dog.
want him."
Either that dog did some shit.
He's the sweetest little Chihuahua. I feel so bad.
Oh,
What's
his name?
Stepchild. His name is Cashew.
Ah.
Yeah, because every Chihuahua on the south side is called Peanut. So I was like, you know what? He's gonna be Cashew.
You named him Cashew. Is it cashew or cashew? I always said cashew.
Jerrod, you're saying the same word.
Jesus.
No, you said cashew. Like
Oh.
you said it like
Bless
cashew.
Cashew.
Yeah. So you say it like, but I say cashew.
I say cashew.
This is premium content.
Look, man,
Sorry.
we're not all at the goddamn beach, okay,
Look,
Cody?
man,
I did mention your shot, Cody. It just like got prettier and prettier as
No, it is it is the best looking.
show went on.
I mean, it doesn't have your cat sticking around in the back, but
But yeah, so Christmas cards has been my whole world lately. Really, I mean, a lot going on.
it's very sad. Sorry. to hear that. Anyway, anything else before we go?
Give me your addresses on air, and I'll send you one right now. Tell me where you
I
live,
don't-
and I will send.
I'll give
one.
you my. I don't care. I
No,
give you my
don't
address.
DM me.
All right. Okay. On that note, I'm Jerry Kingery.
I'm Cody Villafano.
And I'm Jocelyn Durand.
Thank you for listening to the CineSnob Podcast. To read reviews, interviews, and more, visit cinesnob.net. See you next week.